Welcome to Grounding Connection, where we are renaturing in relationship with climate change. This series demonstrates a different way to interact with our fear, anger, hopelessness, and helplessness around climate change, or collapse, or sixth extinction event, however you label it. I'm Betsy Kudlinski. I'm a freedom guide, like a nature guide, but the nature we're exploring is our own. As someone living with trauma, stress, and overwhelm, we work our way towards personal freedom. With our nervous system's interest and safety in mind, I guide us to trust our true nature and feel the freedom to walk our own paths in life. With training in somatic experiencing and life coaching, over 3 decades of working professionally with animals, and more than 20 years of interest in climate change, this project is an attempt at making a human impact. I'm representing only me in my work, which is how I use my knowledge and skills in relationship with community, with human and non human animals. I'm not portraying SE or even life coaching here. I fully acknowledge that I wouldn't be here doing this without the knowledgeable people in my social lineage. Also, the radiant humans with whom I couldn't record this series are volunteers, some of whom I've worked with in the past and some I've never met before. Everything beyond the first couple of minutes you'll see and hear is spontaneous. It's how I work and I won't change it, even for YouTube. I'm deeply grateful both for these humans and for any and all humans who watch these episodes. If this episode is interesting or helpful to you, let me know. We all have to deal with YouTube's algorithms, so comment, like, subscribe, tell a friend. If it means a whole lot, I'd be delighted if you bought me a coffee. The link is in the description. Now, this episode is with JoAnne. She's dealing with feelings over having watched the political and social will to change disappear. Something to keep in mind during this session is that many people need tons of time to and space in order to digest and think and be. I was able to give that to JoAnne this day, which means that you also have time and space to be with your own thoughts and feelings here. Hi, JoAnne.
Hi,
It's good to
Betsy.
see you. Yeah. Um, how you doing right now in this moment?
Right in this moment, I feel pretty good.
Hmm.
I feel pretty grounded.
Yeah.
I feel kind of my center of gravity kind of right around my diaphragm. So I'm feeling like kind of
Yeah.
solid. I feel solid.
Yeah. Yeah. And is that how you know that you feel grounded? With your center of gravity right around your diaphragm?
Yeah, like it feels like connected.
Yeah. Yeah. I like the little wiggle,
I
checking
have to
in.
test.
Just have to test. Yeah, absolutely.
True. Is that true? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So we got some truth there. Yay. Feeling connected.
Well, it's good as a touchstone.
Hmm. Absolutely. Yeah. So we were just talking a little bit about um what issue, thought, um irritation is going on for you or is feeling like a touch point for you right now, having to do with climate change. And I'm wondering if you can put it into your own words a little bit right now.
So I've been living a while, which is
Mm.
good,
Mhm. Mhm.
but it
Mhm.
has really, I've been able to see things over a longer period of time. And when I
Mhm.
came into the world, it was nowhere near as dire as it
Yeah.
feels currently.
Yeah.
Um, I was alive when birthday started, right? And that
Mhm.
was felt very positive. That was a very positive. Um, oh, people get it. There's hope for the future. There's popular support for wanting like a clean air and clean water and
Mhm. Mhm.
protect endangered animals and things that would make life on earth pleasant and enjoyable.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And over time, I have seen that degrade.
Yeah.
Like there is both like actions on the part of corporate and governmental entities to erode that, and there's also apathy and distraction on the
Yeah.
part of the people,
Yeah.
where that is no longer um, like a priority.
Yeah.
And then when we get into things like climate denial, like climate change denial, that's like, okay, wow, that is like so opposite what I experienced in like 1970.
Mm-hmm.
So there is a feeling. I have a lot of feelings around this because I'm trying to like kind of grok this. Like, how have we gone from this point over here to this point over here?
Mm-hmm.
Um, like I have feelings of anger, betrayal, sadness, terror,
Yeah. Yeah.
dismay, disbelief,
So much, right?
right?
Yeah. Yeah. And if you can just take a second, you were feeling grounded
Right,
and connected. How are you feeling now?
right. Like I have to get back to that.
Mhm. Well, you don't have to get back to that.
Well, I
Just,
have to get back
like,
to at least
yeah.
I'm not out here.
Well, if that's
What
where
I
you
want to
are.
do is be connected and also be connected to those feelings. I want to be grounded and connected to those feelings.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a lovely way to look at it. Yeah.
Like I can feel I'm just like so angry,
Where do you know the anger is?
so angry. I can just
Yeah.
like 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 I want to be like animal, like snarl and like put my claws out and like so angry.
Yeah. Yeah. Can you just imagine doing that? Yeah. Yeah. And how is it to just imagine snarling with your claws out?
Well, it feels good, but there's part of me that's like, oh my god, if I start this, where am I going to stop?
Mm. Yeah.
So I kind of pull it back a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why we start with imagining, right? Because it's not quite as much as like actually
Yes.
leaping through the screen at me.
Right. Right.
Yeah. And so you can draw back a little bit and kind of imagine considering snarling with your claws out.
Right.
And I wonder if there's a object of that anger.
It's hard because it's so diffuse.
The anger is diffuse
Well,
or
the how to find an object of it. It's not
mm,
one person,
no, it's
not
not.
one corporation. It's
Mm-mm.
there's a pattern,
Hmm. Yeah.
and it's hard to be angry at a pattern.
What
I
happens
mean,
if
there are
you
individuals,
yeah, but what if you
but I know that those individuals
go
are
for it?
not the sole focus of like you have to actually dig back to find.
Yeah.
And like, am I angry at dead people like Ronald Reagan? Like, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like people who put this path in motion wittingly or unwittingly.
Right. Right.
And then just being angry at human nature because if we had a different
Mm-hmm.
nature, maybe we wouldn't be here.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how can you be like,
Can you?
Like, can I be angry at that?
What's it like to ask your body, that snarling, clawy self, can I be angry at dead people and human nature and patterns? Your eyes just squinted.
Yeah, I don't. I think it's a different feeling.
Yeah. What do you mean by it? It's a different feeling. I think that we all wrestle with this inability to figure out where to focus anger. And I also think that some of that is a coping strategy. If we don't have somebody to be angry at, then we just don't have to be angry or scared or whatever it is, or we can't, and so we can just continue to push it down and not feel it. But that's why we're JoAnne and I are going down this little pathway here, is to investigate that possibility.
It's hard to describe.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to like
Yeah,
kind of feel it here for a second.
please. You could even describe what the sensations are, what the feelings are without a cohesive narrative, if that would help.
So I get anger.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, on a personal level, I feel angry.
Yeah.
When I think about, when I kind of step either back or in a different level,
Mm-hmm.
like there's like some element of compassion for people who are afraid and who act out of fear,
Mm-hmm.
because we're all doing that. And some people act, you know, it's going to
Mm-hmm.
look different for different folks.
How can you tell that you have compassion for these folks who are doing things that you disagree with, but you can tell they're doing it out of fear?
Right. So there's some people who are just downright,
Mm-hmm.
like, I can be completely angry at those folks.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard.
It is
It's
hard.
hard. Like I want, like like my impulse is to be compassionate. It's like, but you guys are not behaving
Yeah. Yeah.
in a really like positive way for all people
Yeah.
and all animals, right? So
Yeah. So these people who are not behaving in a positive way for all humans and all animals. Yeah. What's going on in your system right now?
just like so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Just so like, I don't know, like there's all sorts of, like I can feel it just kind of pinging around, and it's like doesn't really know where to land, and it's like,
Yeah.
well, and it's like there's like the good angel and the bad angel, they're kind of arguing, like, you know, you should be compassionate, but these people are being assholes, and like, you know, so how do you,
Yeah.
you know, how are we gonna,
Yeah.
like, how do we exist in this space?
Yeah.
You know, what is Like, what is justice? Like, what's
I'm curious if that desire for justice comes from that anger. Where does the need for justice come from? And who is the justice for?
justice for?
Notice the little wiggles.
Yeah, I'm just trying to like think about this. If justice is possible,
Hmm. How about this? What does justice mean to you in general?
I think in general it's like fairness, consideration,
Hmm.
um, making right if possible.
Yeah. Fairness, consideration, making right if possible. And if you feel justice, these qualities of justice, where do they land in your body?
Mm. It's kind of like heart level.
Yeah, your heart level. Yeah. And how does it feel there to just be imagining these qualities of justice, fairness?
Well, it's like relaxed.
Your heart is relaxed, or
Yeah,
all of you is relaxed?
like you don't have to be so vigilant that there's
Yeah.
injustice. You can just
Yeah.
relax that there is justice.
There is justice. Yeah.
Like
And so if
that
your
feels
heart is relaxed
right.
and you pay attention to the fact that there's justice and you notice that your heart is relaxed,
Hmm.
what else gets relaxed?
Like my throat gets relaxed and kind of
Mm,
around my eyes.
yeah, your throat and around your eyes. Yeah. Anything else?
And I feel like it's easier to kind of stand taller, like stand
Yeah.
more
Yeah.
more firm and not be.
Yeah. This is a real thing, right? So you're standing taller, your heart's more relaxed, your throat's more relaxed, around your eyes is more
Mhm.
relaxed.
Right.
Yeah. And then
So I
once,
see all of those things
hmm,
in myself as
yeah.
being inhibitors to connecting with other people.
Oh, that's interesting.
Right. So my eyes are kind of, my throat is closed, my heart is closed, and I'm like, so
Mm.
I'm less open.
Can you just feel this for a second? Like
Yeah.
there's two things, right? It's like this is maybe keeping you here and this is keeping them there.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. What happens as you notice this?
Like I can feel the defensive.
Yeah. How far is this close enough? How far do they need to go?
Yeah. Well, I'm shooting rays of go away out of his hand, so
Yeah, so it goes much further, huh?
yeah, it does. Like the heart, protecting the heart, and putting out the force field, the little shield.
Yeah, 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 yeah. And that's because of injustice, or do you feel like having a relaxed heart, a relaxed throat, relaxed around the eyes, and a nice, strong, upright posture, does that make you harder to connect with?
Um,
What happens is you sink back into your body, right?
yeah, like that was like a big
Yeah.
shift that little bit.
Hmm.
So I don't want to be defensive. I want the heart relaxed, and I want my face relaxed. I want my
Yeah.
throat relaxed. Like I want that.
Are are there other people? Are there any other people, human or otherwise, who you can have that heart relaxed, throat relaxed, eyes relaxed?
Yes.
Yeah.
So my cats for sure.
Yay.
Just about any animal will
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
like I'm just like, oh yes.
Yeah, there's a reason that I work with
Yeah,
with my fur babies.
right.
Yeah. Yeah. Any human people?
Well, I have a husband. We're having kind of connection issues.
Hmm.
So this is actually kind of interesting. And again, I want to be connected to him and just feel a little defensive.
Yeah. Yeah. Have there been times that you felt connected to him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, and that felt really delightful.
Yeah.
So we're kind of working on like, can we get back to to that point? Can we get
Yeah.
back to feeling connected? And
Yeah.
um,
Yeah. Cats, any animals, occasionally your husband.
mm,
Anybody else?
not for a while.
Yeah. Yeah. But you do have the cats and the animals. Yeah. And you know the feeling
Hmm.
that you're going for. You understand that you don't feel connected to your husband all the time right now. Feel a
Right.
little defensive around him sometimes.
Hmm.
Yeah. So you know that that's not what you want.
Right.
Yeah. Can you imagine somebody or a community of somebody's that you can feel that soft heart, soft throat, soft around the eyes, upright posture? Just make believe here,
Hmm.
imagining what it would be like. Are they like minded people or are they just people that you trust?
I think at least a little of both.
Yeah. Yeah. What else? What else do people need to get to be with you without your defenses up?
So I like when people are real about their process.
Mm.
So you don't have to like I don't have to be in exact agreement, but if you're like, wow, I feel XYZ about a thing and are just honest about, well, I'm having this feeling.
Mhm.
Like I like that openness.
Yeah.
And I like the like a language around that, like, okay, I'm thinking about this particular thing and I'm having a feeling about it. Like this is kind of how I'm working through it and like kind of back and forth. Like I like that. I
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah. Yeah, so we need open communication
Mhm.
and some openness about the process, their own process, so that even if we disagree on something, we at least know that we're not going on faith, just going on what somebody else has said.
Right.
Okay.
Um, different people have different experiences. So in the same situation, like your experience might give you a slightly different way of thinking than I'm thinking, but that
Yeah.
doesn't like I just like, oh, that's like actually like, oh, that's interesting. Like I like
Yeah.
that different perspective.
Yeah. So it sounds like you want engagement too.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah. Some engagement, maybe some connection.
Hmm.
Mhm. Yeah. What's it like to imagine this?
Oh, I fantasize about this all the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
That would be just so nice.
The Beatles come to mind,
Right.
or at least
Right.
John Lennon, right?
So I have tried making connections this way, and I've been in a couple of different like not strict communities, but like community is just kind of a basket term.
Mhm.
And have been a little disappointed, and I think I've kind of just taken a little break
Mhm.
and kind of assessing my role in the dysfunction and their role in the dysfunction and thinking about, well, like what's actually important to me in
Yeah.
terms of finding community.
Yeah.
And then there's been some physical things that have happened, like we've moved and
Yeah.
we've been locked down. So there's been reasons why I have not done my normal connecting.
Mhm.
Um, but I do kind of appreciate the not connecting.
Mhm.
To just kind of take a breather and like really consider who I want to connect with, what kind of interests I want to connect around.
Mm. And I wonder if that's changed over the last several years.
Oh, I'm sure it has. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like things that are important to me, like it's not just climate change, like just it's now hard to get to know people
It
because I
is.
feel like we're so polarized. Like
Yeah.
it's a minefield, and like you have to be like you have to take little tiny, put little feelers out,
Mhm. Mhm.
put out a little feeler, and if you pass that feeler, then you can go to the next feeler, and then you go to the next feeler.
Yeah.
Um, but I would like to find some group of friends here.
Yeah. Yeah. That
Like
sounds like a lovely
I just
desire.
yeah, like
Yeah.
it's pretty reasonable.
Mhm. Mhm. So if you feel back into yourself there, you look different than you did, 5 minutes ago.
Mhm.
How you doing towards that connected and grounded?
So kind of in the personal sphere, like close to me, like I feel like um hopeful and positive about connecting with people, and like oh, I can go make friends with people, and
Yeah.
there's still this big black angry cloud out here,
Yeah. Notice how far away it is,
right? But
right?
it's like, okay, so that's just, is that like I am still angry about it, but it is
Yeah.
part of the wallpaper,
Mm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes that comes closer and sometimes it goes farther apart.
It's true, right?
Um but I can affect change around making friends with people. Like
Mm-hmm.
I can do a like I can
Yeah.
go to a meetup, or I can take a class, or I can do a
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Like that's there's agency there.
Yeah. And that can be over there, and sometimes it's a little closer, and sometimes it's over there. Sometimes it's part of the wallpaper.
Right. I think part of my anger is feeling responsible for all of it. Like I'm not responsible for all of it, and like kind of realizing that was actually a big deal, and letting some of it go.
Mm.
Like feeling like if I don't okay, like feeling like, oh, I have to change this, I have to um fix it, I have to fix it.
Mm-hmm.
And
What are you responsible for, JoAnne?
in terms of anything. Well, I'm definitely responsible for taking care of myself in the household.
Mm-hmm.
uh I'm going to say being like a good citizen, like doing things that take other people into consideration, like
Mm-hmm.
following traffic laws, and
Yeah.
uh
Yeah.
you know not rolling coal, and not, like being reasonable, just being a reasonable person
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
a
We kind of
society.
all have to agree
Right.
to do these things because otherwise it just won't work. If we all decide to drive willy-nilly, there's too many cars on the road.
Right.
What
So
else?
like we're trying to be a one car family,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
right? So
Mm-hmm.
that was a deliberate decision. Like instead of
Mm-hmm.
just automatically getting two cars, we're like, well, let's try being a one car because it's only the two of us. And
Mm-hmm.
um that's a tiny thing. It's a tiny thing.
But it's something that you can
But
be
it's something,
responsible for.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Something.
Yeah.
Um
This particular train of thought of JoAnne's has me thinking about the story, whether it's apocryphal or not, of the little girl on the beach at low tide or whatever, and throwing starfish back into the water, and how the adult with her um, says, "What are you doing? You can't save them all. It doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things or whatever." And she picks up a starfish and throws it back into the ocean and says, "Well, it mattered to that starfish." And so I think that that's where we're going here. One person can't do anything, but it can matter to JoAnne how she lives, and that she's um, living her own values and connecting with people and doing a one car family and stuff like that. What else?
I have fostered kittens in the past, and I think I may go back to doing that. And so that's like helping little lives, on
Yeah.
a very micro level, but still,
Yeah.
it's that starfish, helping that one, helping a kitten and a potential cat parent,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
Find their best
Mhm.
friend.
Mhm.
Uh, Not contributing to death, like that's a good thing.
Yeah. It is a good thing. Yeah. And if you make sure that all the kittens that you foster are fixed, then
Hmm.
you're helping the songbird population.
Right. So there's ramifications of every little
Mhm.
thing.
There are. Yeah. Being a one-car family takes another car off the road,
Hmm.
so there's less congestion, obviously less pollution,
Right.
less rubber in tires, less gasoline, less.
Metal, less.
Yeah, yeah. And does it make you feel a little bit better to be doing your part there?
It does.
Yeah, yeah.
Like it feels to make a conscious decision to be a one car family feels like it flies in the face of the just reflexive, just to have as many cards as people in the
Mhm,
house type of mentality.
mhm.
Like you actually think about it.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. What else is rolling around in there, JoAnne?
oh God, so many things. Um, I don't know. There's a lot.
Yeah, yeah, there's so
There's a
much,
lot.
right? So
And it feels
from where you're at, right there,
mhm.
is the big black cloud still wallpaper?
Yes.
Yeah. And how about that feeling of protection?
So in conversation with you, because we are having a fairly open exchange, I feel very unprotected.
Yeah. So just even notice that right now, right? You are capable of that.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So I would like more conversations, kind of like this. Maybe
Yeah.
not as directed, but kind of that open.
Yeah. There were another 3 minutes of this session, which were good, but there were technical difficulties, freezing of the screen and stuff. So we just cut this at a good stopping point. If you were moved by this episode in any way, take a minute. If you have the freedom, don't jump into the next thing. We absorb the goodness of our feelings after the fact. So pause if you can. Don't forget to do the things that every YouTuber tells you to do, like subscribe, blah, blah, blah. I'd love for this series to reach the people it will impact the most, and it can't do that if they never find it. Take care of yourself.